in the world after all. Your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at light speed you feel. By a moment at light speed you feel. We're running, and nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
Hey everyone and welcome, my name is ThomC. Today I'd like to take a look at VocalStrip 2 by SSL, and I'd like to put it to the test and see whether it can take an okay recording and make it better, and also a badly recorded vocal recording and make it sound better as well. Let's check it out. So this is the plugins user interface. What I'm going to do is to bypass the plugin and I'm going to activate it and deactivate it as the song plays. So let's start with deactivated and I'll activate it. Okay, let's check it out.
In the world after all, your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at light speed you feel. By a moment at light speed you feel. We're running, and nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind. We're flying, 300 million meters in the flash of a...
So I think I overdid it, but yeah, so this is one of my songs called A Moment at Lightspeed, and what I did is that I recorded the song twice. So I recorded the song with the ML1 by Stay Digital, and I recorded another vocal with this mic, which is a cheap mic, the 815S, which I use, which I've used quite a bit in the past. And so this is the ML1, and what I did, well, first of all, let's actually check out the user interface. You have a bypass control here, on and off switch, input and output controls with input and output meters. You have a compressor or a Compander section, compressor and expander with attack and release and ratio for the compressor, soft knee and hard knee. You have a drive control which is linked to the makeup gain, so the more you push the makeup gain, the more harmonic saturation you'll introduce to the signal. And you have to compensate with the output control here, otherwise you'll introduce too much volume. You have the threshold here and the expander threshold. The attack and release and ratio is already set for the expander. You have a De-Esser section with two modes, split and broadband. So split, when it's set to split, basically the gain reduction is applied to the frequency that triggers the De-Esser, and broadband to the full frequency spectrum. And there's the same with the De-Ploser. So you have threshold and frequency. Look ahead, it basically detects the circuit detects the signal before hitting the De-Esser, and then you have a listen control here that allows you to really listen to what's happening, what you're actually effectively de-essing. And you have a De-Ploser here, so that allows you to remove plosives. And you have an equalizer here, 3-band EQ. You have high pass control, and you have notch filter here and a bell curve control here. So you can't set it to shelf if you want to. It is already set. You can't change the curves of your EQ. And you can reroute the controls or reroute the modules however you want to here. For example, you can set the compounder to be before the equalizer and so on. You have a few presets here. I'm not going to use the presets in this demo. I'm just going to play a bit with the controls. So yeah, let's listen to it without the effects and we'll activate them one after the other with the vocal playing on its own.
Body's a portion and the rest is owned
without
by a
reverb.
moment at Lightspeed.
What I'm going to do is that I'm going to play it where the vocal is actually a bit more dynamic. Here actually.
We're running, and nothing can stand still in your enlightenment.
Listen to "and nothing," and I'll play that without and with the compressor.
And nothing can stand still.
With.
And nothing can stand still.
So this is what I wanted to do, just a bit of control here.
And nothing can.
With you know, the attack set at 30 milliseconds and the release at 220. Then there's the De-Esser.
Can't stand still in your. We're running.
This is what it's removing.
We're running, and nothing can stand still in your enlightenment. We're running, and nothing can stand still in.
I felt that the drive control didn't, for some reason, didn't actually. Well, actually, let's listen to it.
We're running, and nothing can stand still in your enlightenment.
Let's listen to it in context with that.
We're flying.
Actually, it's not bad. Sorry. I'm going to turn it down a bit because we're clipping here, so let's be careful with that. Without the EQ. Oh, that was without the EQ, so let's activate the EQ.
We're flying.
So I played with the... well, I'm going to actually bypass those. I actually played with the high pass filter. Let's actually replay the whole section starting from here.
In the world after all, your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at Lightspeed. You feel
you can actually go pretty far because there's a slight boost here. I also use the notch filter to actually get rid of that resonance.
In the world after all,
let's listen to it solo.
Your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at Lightspeed. You feel.
This is what I got rid of, and I added a bit more top end.
World after all, your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at Lightspeed. You feel.
So that is it.
By a moment at Lightspeed, you feel.
With.
We're running.
Without.
We're running.
With.
And nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
I think it's pretty effective already. I also used it on the acoustic guitar. Let's listen to that.
We're flying.
So yeah, I recorded both together. That's why you're hearing the vocal still.
We're flying 300 million meters and the flash of a body's a portion and the rest.
This is what.
Is owned by a moment at Lightspeed. You feel.
So a 2-to-1 ratio. I didn't want to choke the signal, you know, just a bit of control on the acoustic guitar. And I didn't add or do anything to, did I? No. Just a bit of high pass filter.
And nothing
but not much else. I felt like actually let's, yeah, I tried notching one of those frequencies, but then there was some like weird phasing issues happening. So I think that personally, let's re-listen to the lead vocal with the acoustic guitar.
In the world after all, your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at light speed you feel. By a moment at light speed you feel. We're running, and nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
Is that?
We're flying,
With?
we're flying 300 million meters in the flash of.
So we're, you know, shifting the focus here with this EQ. Yeah, very good. Let's carry on. And what we're going to do now is listen to this. So it's a totally different thing. The microphone I used, and you know, the recording, there's a bit of noise, and you know, in the way I sang I'm not going to say it was the best performance, because you know, I actually held the microphone this time, so you can hear all those things. Yeah, what I'm going to do is reopen the plugin here. So let's listen to the lead vocal on its own with the 815 and without the VocalStrip 2.
In the world after all, your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at light speed you feel.
A lot of plosive sounds, a lot of noise in the singing, a lot of low end. Let's listen to it without and with.
In the world after all, your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at light speed you feel. By a moment at light speed you feel.
Without?
We're running,
With?
we're running, and nothing can stand still in your.
Let's listen to it in context with the acoustic guitar. Without.
Enlightened mind. We're flying,
With?
we're flying 300 million meters in the flash of a light.
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's not an easy thing to correct this performance. So what I did here is that I used the De-Esser and the De-Ploser broadband. And basically, let me show you what it does. I'm going to actually solo the vocal mic.
In the world after all,
I'm going to do this.
your body's a portion and the rest is owned by a moment at light speed you feel.
So basically,
By a moment at light speed you feel.
that's quite interesting what happens when you set it to broadband. Because
After all, your body's a portion.
a lot of artifacts start showing, but I felt like it was the only way with which I could get rid of those very, very present plosives.
And the rest is owned by a moment at light speed.
But you have to be careful with that, because it can start being a little weird, you know, dynamically, the way the De-Ploser actually reacts to the signal.
You feel
In terms of rhythm and in terms of how the vocal feels. Let's listen to the Compander now. So I did the whole thing here. I used the expander and the compressor, soft knee with the drive setting.
by a moment at light speed you feel.
So that's with.
We're running,
Without.
can stand still in your enlightened mind.
And listen to, and nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind. Without and then with.
And nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
With.
And nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
Okay, this is not a fair comparison. I actually pushed the makeup gain to introduce harmonic saturation, so I'll volume match it for you.
And nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
Like this, maybe. Without.
And nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
With.
And nothing can stand still in your
Listen to in your.
Nothing can stand still in your
In your. It's like it's really jumping at you. And with the compressor.
Nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
It really evens things out. I feel like it was more difficult for me to set the compressor on this one because of the way the microphone reacts to some of the words that I sang, and it was quite tricky, to be honest. So, equalizer without.
We're flying.
With.
We're flying 300 million meters in the flush of light.
Like I got a little heavier-handed with the high end, but I felt like it was needed. Let's listen to it in context.
Limited light speed you feel. We're running.
Without.
We're running.
With.
And nothing can stand still in your enlightened mind.
Without the EQ.
We're flying.
So the thing that I got rid of here is this resonance here. Let's listen to it.
We're running. We're running. And nothing can stand still in your enlightened.
It's like this very boxy tone and very present resonance that we're hearing. So let's listen to the track again. What I'm going to do actually is to show you what I did on the Piezo mic, on the pickup. This is without. With. What I did is that I used the De-Ploser to control the lower frequencies of the acoustic guitar, and added a bit of top end and got even rid of the same frequency area almost with the notch filter here, and a bit of compression as well to keep things together.
By a moment at light speed you feel. We're running.
Without.
We're running. And nothing can stand still in your enlightened
With.
mind. We're flying. We're flying 300.
So I bought the VocalStrip 2 by SSL to show to you guys today, and you know, when I buy a plugin like this, I like to ask myself the question of what it is and what it isn't. What it is a way to go from good sounding vocals to great sounding vocals. It's a quick, easy fix if you, for example, are working on dialogue as well, on film, and you need a quick fix with you know, a compressor, an expander, a de-esser, de-ploser, an equalizer, and those things combined that will make your voice sound good. Now, what it isn't is a comprehensive channel strip, and that really shows with the equalizer. You have a set slope when it comes to the high pass filter. You have, you know, you can't change the Q of the notch filter. You can't change the curve of the bell curve. You can't go from bell to high shelf or low shelf, or even high pass, low pass, and you can't go below 1K when it comes. You have set frequency points, that kind of thing, so you have to work with that and make sure that this is right for you. But I like the sound of the compressor. I think it's easy to set. I like how reactive the metering system is in this. It's really good. I like the sound of the drive setting. It's really good as well, and the overall tone of the channel strip is nice. So I think that I could work with this on certain projects, but not on others where you know, it requires more work. Like for example, you know, the second example that I showed to you with the the mic that I've got here, that is not as good. I think it would require a bit more work, and so I would need an extra plugin to put after that. But I think that with the ML1, I think it was okay. The real thing that I would have liked to have added to this channel strip is really, I think, the Q of the notch filter. I think that having a second bell filter at least would have been great. Other than that, I think it's a good sounding plugin, so try it out for yourself and let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.